is Cindy. I'm the CDO instructor, and I'm going to show you how to do the pre-trip for the state test through the Crum Driving Academy. So you would be using our truck. So I'm going to show you everything there is on this truck. So before you begin your pre-trip, you're going to need some things. So I have a pointer. So what you got to do is touch or point to identify the part, and then give some descriptions of what could be wrong with that part. You should have a pair of gloves to do your pre-trip. So some other basics before we begin is any part that is attached to the truck. So one of the descriptions could be it's securely mounted. So pretty much every part securely mounted. If it's a hard part, so hard plastic or metal, there's no cracks, breaks, or bends to that part. If it's rubber, there's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. If it has air or liquid, it's not leaking. So before you begin, you're going to unlatch the hood. So on the Volvos, you just flip the latch underneath the steering column. You're not going to open the hood yet. You're just getting it ready. And I should turn the steering. I'm going to start the truck and turn my wheel so you can see the parts. So 3 points of contact whenever you get in the truck. So you start clutch in. It's in neutral. Brakes are set. One click to the on. Let it do its warm up. Facing inward. Alright. So, the truck is not running, the lights are not on. That's for later on in the test. So, best is to kind of start from the top and work your way down. You want to go in a flow. You don't have to exactly follow the flow that I'm going to go, as long as it's a flow that makes sense to you. So, at the top, you got your clearance lights. They're securely mounted, proper color, orange in the front, red to the back. The lenses are clean, there's no moisture, and they're not cracked. Working my way down, I got my these are my turn signals, 4-way flashers, and they are a running light. They're securely mounted, not cracked, not dirty, proper color, no moisture. My headlights, high and low beams, they are securely mounted, not cracked, not dirty, no moisture. And then underneath the truck, it is not leaking, and it's not leaning left or right, which would indicate a suspension or a air problem. And that's all you're going to see on the front side. So then we're going to open the hood. The Volvo hood opens real easy, and it has a spring on it, so you can just let it go. So on this side, we're just talking about the parts that are unique to this side. There are a few exceptions. They really like to hear about hoses and wires in the frame, so we talk about that repeatedly. Anyway, so starting from the top, I got my coolant reservoir. The cap has a seal. It is hand tight. It's securely mounted, not cracked, bent or broken. It's filled to the proper level, and there appears to be no leaks. Working my way down, I'm going to cover all my hoses on this side of the engine. They're securely mounted on both ends. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, and there's no signs of leaks. Working my way down, all my wiring securely mounted on both ends. No cut, frayed, bare, or exposed wires. Down to this is my alternator. You got 4 engine parts. You have to identify how they're driven. So on this side of the truck, they're belt driven. So my alternator, belt driven, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no bare, exposed wires. To my water pump, which is below my alternator. It is also belt driven, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. And I said water, so no leaks. Both my belts, they're securely mounted, not cut, frayed, and have no more than 3/4 inch deflection when pressed. To my exhaust, leading to the back, it is securely mounted. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, or leaking. Leaking would be indicated by a buildup of black soot. And then the only other part on this side I'm going to talk about is my frame. It's a key part, so we talk about a lot. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no illegal welds. And that is it on this side of the truck. Move over. So again, a flow that makes sense. I'm going to start and work right to left and down. So over here, first thing, actually I'm going to go with all my hoses, securely mounted on both ends, no abrasion, bulges, cuts, no leaks on any of my hoses. All my wiring, not cut, frayed, secure, no bare wires. To my oil dipstick, which is right here, it is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, filled to the proper level, and no signs of leaks. Working my way over to this part right here is my power steering pump. You can follow the big hoses. It leads from your reservoir right into your power steering pump. So on this side of the engine, it is gear driven. It is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, and no signs of leaks. This little hose leads to my air compressor. It is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. If I didn't say, it's also gear driven, and no signs of leaks. Working my way out, I got my frame again. It's securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no illegal welds. To my power steering reservoir, tapped with seal, hand tight. I would check the level here with the dipstick, that make sure it's at the correct level. It's securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no signs of leaks. Leads me down to this is my gearbox, steering gearbox. It is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no signs of leaks. Then you can just identify all these parts to the steering system and then talk about what could be wrong with them. So you got this part, which is your pitman arm. This is your drag link, steering knuckle, and then back behind the axle is a rod, which is right there, and that is your tie rod. So they are all securely mounted. There's 2 castle nuts and cotter pins. It is all securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. That leads me into my suspension. So on every axle, you got your suspension, your brakes, and your tires. On your suspension, on all our trucks, there's 3 components to the suspension system. The first being the springs, or in the spring family. So you got spring hangers, front and rear. They are securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Your spring itself, we only have one, but it is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Secured on this end by 2 U-bolts. So they are securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. Looseness, you would see shiny threads. So that's part 1. Part 2 of your suspension on every axle is your shocks with top and bottom mounts. So securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. shock itself not cracked, bent, broken, and it has fluid, so it's not leaking. Third suspension part, airbag with top and bottom mounts, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. Airbag itself, this is rubber, so no abrasions, bulges, cuts, no signs of leaks. That leads me working my way out to my brakes. It all starts with my airline leading in, so securely mounted on both ends. There's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, no signs of leaks, which then leads me to my brake chamber. Brake chamber, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken, no signs of leaks. Brake chamber leads me into my push rod and my slack adjuster. It is all securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. If the brakes were released, I would have no more than 1 inch pull. That leads me into my brake pads, which I have upper and lower brake pads. They are securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken, and I have no less than 1/4 inch of pad. Brake pads press up against the brake drum, so the brake drum is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no signs of bluing, which would have been caused by excessive heat. I also have no oil or grease on my pad or drum, which would be an indication of a inner axle seal leak, which then brings me out to my outer axle seal. It is also securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no signs of leaks. Leads me into my rim or wheel. You could call it either, same thing. But anyway, it is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no signs of illegal welds. To my lug nuts, they're all present and accounted for. They're all securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. Looseness would be indicated by rust trails or shiny threads. To my valve stem with a metal cap, it is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no signs of leaks. This is where I would check my tire, that if I had a tire pressure gauge, that it's filled to the manufacturer's recommended level. So that's the inflation on my tire. My tire itself, securely mounted. The sidewalls, inner and outer, no abrasions, bulges, cuts. Steer tire cannot be a recap. No exposed ply. To my tread, even wear, no foreign objects, and on a steer tire, no less than 4/32 of tread. Before you walk away, you could just do a mental check of every part that you included, everything. I don't think I missed anything, so I'm going to move on. But if at any point you remember that you missed, until you're done with the rear of the trailer and you tell the examiner that you're ready to move on to your interior, you can remember and say, hey, back here I forgot this. You will still get that point. So moving on to my mirror. It is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. To my door, it opens and closes freely. Hinges are all intact. It's all securely mounted. So hinges here. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. My door seal, there's no abrasions or cuts, and no signs of leaking. I wouldn't say bulges, just because it's not going to get air to it, so it shouldn't bulge out. So that's done. To my steps, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. There's no debris, and would hold the driver's weight. On the Volvo, this light is just a turn signal and a four-way flasher. It is securely mounted, although this one is missing one screw. They're proper color, no moisture, clean, and that's good. That's 3. I would go ahead and mention, even though this truck does not have the def tank, just you could get the point for it, unless he tells you to move on. but I would just say if I had a def tank, it would be right here. And it has a cap with a seal. It's hand tight, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no signs of leaks. There's the back of the truck. Over there, I have my exhaust stack. Is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. Leakage would be indicated by a black soot. To my frame on both sides, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no illegal welds. Between my frame, down below, which kind of hard to point to, but I have my drive shaft. On both ends, there's U-joints. It is securely mounted. There's no debris, and it's not cracked, bent, or broken. Working my way out. Catwalk with steps. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no debris. Could hold the driver's weight. To my fuel tank with my cap and seal hand tight. Fuel tank, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. No signs of leakage. Also no wear on the rubber straps, so that it's not wearing on the metal. Then this would lead me. I like the flow of including some not backtracking, so I'm gonna work my way into my trailer as well. So I got my air and electric lines. It's secure on both ends of the tractor and on the trailer. So my airlines, very close, but not touching anything metal. There's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, no signs of leaks. On this end, I have glad hand seals. They're not missing, they're not dry rotted, not cut. My electric line, like I said, secure on both ends. No cut, bare or exposed wires. That leads me to my trailer headboard. It is securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, no missing rivets, no holes, and it could hold the load in a panic stop. Up top, I have my clearance light. It is securely mounted, proper color, not dirty, no cracks, no signs of moisture inside. Working my way down to the trailer sidewall, and it's not really the frame, but the top and bottom and side panels, all securely mounted. There's a little damage, but nothing that hasn't been reported, or no missing rivets, no signs of holes or leaks. DOT tape along the side of the trailer. There's 50% coverage. It is securely mounted. There is a little damage here, but it's clean and not missing. Working my way down. This part here is my trailer apron. It is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. It's properly lubricated. There is no gap between my apron and then this top part of my fifth wheel. This is called my skid plate. So there's no gap between. My skid plate is also well lubricated. It is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. To my fifth wheel release handle, it is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. It is in the lock position. To this V shape that connects your skid plate, this is your platform. It is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. That leads you into your slide rail. There is no missing nuts or bolts. It is all securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. This is a sliding fifth wheel, so the airline also securely mounted, no abrasion, bulges, cuts, no signs of leaks. Leads me into my sliding pins. They are all, because there's more than one, fully extracted. They're securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. I already mentioned my frame. So now I'm going to move on to my suspension. Like I said, there's 3 suspension parts. Technically on the truck, this is called a control arm, but you could call it a spring. It's in the spring family. So either a control hanger and control arm, or a spring hanger and a spring. Either words will suffice. So anyway, I'm going to call it my control hanger. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Control arm, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. And control arms have U-bolts, which is very hard to see here, but I know they're there. They're back under here. Anyway, they are securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. No signs of leaks. Here's my shock. So second suspension part. Top and bottom mounts, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Shock itself, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. No signs of leaks. Here's my airbag with top and bottom mounts, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. Airbag. No abrasion, bulges, cuts. No signs of leaks. Your brakes, at this point with a trailer, you cannot see. It's pretty much on memory. And there's 5 parts to your brakes. It all starts with your airline. So your airline, securely mounted on both ends. No abrasions, bulges, cuts. No signs of leaks. Leads me into my brake chamber. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. No signs of leaks. Brake chamber goes into my push rod and slack adjuster. It is also securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. No signs of, no missing parts. No more than 1 inch of pull if the brakes were released. That leads me into my brake pads. Brake pads, securely mounted, top and bottom pads. Not cracked, bent, broken. No less than 1/4 inch of pad remaining. Last part, brake pads press up against the brake drum. So the brake drum, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. No signs of bluing, which would have been caused by excessive heat. No oil or grease, which would be an indication of an inner axle seal leak, which then leads me to my tires. 5 parts to my tires. First being my inner and outer axle seal. So again, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. No signs of leaks. To my rim, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. No illegal welds. My lug nuts, all present and accounted for. They are all securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. Looseness would be an indication indicated by rust trails or shiny threads. Because this is a dual axle, I have both of my valve stems with the metal caps on both. They're securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. No signs of leaks, and this is where I would check that both of my tires are inflated to the manufacturer's recommended level if I had a tire pressure gauge. My inner and outer sidewalls on both tires, no abrasions, bulges, cuts. These can be a recap, and there's no exposed ply. Tread on both, evenly worn. No debris, no foreign objects, no less than 2/32 of tread. The only additional part on the tires on dual axles is the space in between your duals, and that is called a bud space. So your bud space, 2 rims butted up against each other. So they are securely mounted. They're not cracked, bent, broken. There's no debris in between. I would check this tire and axle the same way I just checked this one. Work my way down. So I covered everything there. So now, underneath. And up. At the top, so I got my on my trailer, I got my kingpin. It is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. You can barely see the top of it. With my locking jaw from my fifth wheel fully engaged around the kingpin, it's all well lubricated, it's all secure, no cracks, bends, breaks. Working my way down here is my rear, so it's above your differential. But if I got my rear and I have a front as well, torsion bars that are securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Working my way out to here, right in front of me, I got my tail lights. So these are obviously tail lights. They're also brake lights. They're turn signals. They're four-way flashers, and the white one is my reverse light. They're all securely mounted, proper colors, no cracks, no moisture inside. Which leads me to my mud flap. It is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. The mud flap, it's not cut, frayed, not missing. Proper clearance between my mud flap and my tire and the ground, and also proper clearance between my mud flap and my landing gear. Adequate for turns that the two shall not meet. DOT tape, although this is a little dirty, it is securely mounted, not cut, not missing, and on the back of any vehicle it's 100% coverage. Up underneath here and all the way down, I have my cross members. They're securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no illegal welds. To my floor, there appears to be no holes. To my landing gear, which, yep. Okay, I got my landing gear. It is fully raised. There's no debris on my pad. It is all securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. Fully raised, if I didn't say that. Handle is in the stored position. My way back. Here's my light. Securely mounted. The function of this light is it's a marker light, it's a turn signal, and it's a four-way flasher. Securely mounted, proper color, not cracked, not dirty, no moisture inside. Working my way back. I have my air and electric lines. They are all securely mounted. They're not rubbing any parts. It's proper clearance off the ground. Air has no abrasion, bulges, cuts, no leaks. Wiring, no cut, frayed, or bare wires. To my slide rail and the frame, for lack of a better word, of my trailer. It is all securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no illegal welds. This is my sliding handle for my tandems. It is securely mounted. It is in the lock position, not cracked, bent, or broken. I have my sliding pins. I have two. So both or all my pins, you want to indicate anytime there's more than one that you're mentioning, including everything that goes with it. So they're fully extracted. They're securely mounted. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. So this leads me into my suspension. On all of our trailers, we have what is called a rocker hanger and a rocker arm. You could also call this a spring. It's in the spring family, but technically these are called rocker hangers and rocker arms. Anyway, rocker hanger, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Rocker arm, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken. Sometimes it's easier just to look at the other axle because you can see so much better. So, rocker hanger, rocker arm. And rockers do not have U-bolts. So, moving on to my next suspension part, my shock with top and bottom mounts. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. Shock, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. No signs of leaks. Back to my airbag with the top and bottom mounts. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. Airbag, no abrasions, bulges, cuts, no signs of leaks. Which leads me into my brakes. So brakes has 5 parts. All starts with my air lines leading in, so secure on both ends, no abrasions, bulges, cuts, no signs of leaks. Number 2, brake chamber. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no signs of leaks. Brake chamber leads to my push rod and my slack adjuster. All securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no missing parts. No more than 1 inch pull if the brakes were released. That leads me into my brake pads, bottom and top. They are all securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no less than a 1/4 inch pad. Brake pads push up against my brake drum. It is securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. No signs of bluing, which would be caused by excessive heat. No oil or grease on my pad or drums, which would be an indication of an inner axle seal leak, which leads me outward to my tire. So my outer axle seal, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. The only difference on this is all our trailers has a sight glass or a cap that can be removed. So in addition, on your trailer, you're checking that it's filled to the proper level on your axle seal. All right, that leads me into my rim. Securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no illegal welds. To my lug nuts, they are all accounted for. They're all securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no signs of looseness, which would be indicated by rust straps or shiny threads. This is again a dual axle, so I have 2 valve stems with metal caps. They're both securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no signs of leaks. This is where I would check both my tires that they are inflated to the manufacturer's recommended level. So that leads me to continue on with my tire. My inner and outer sidewalls on both tires, there's no abrasions, bulges, cuts. This also can be a recap, and there's no metal ply showing, or exposed ply. To the tread, even wear on both. No foreign objects, no less than 2/32 of tread. I would check this tire and axle the same way I just checked this one. Working my way back. Mud flaps. Proper clearance between flap and tire and ground. Securely mounted. Not cracked, bent, broken, no cut, and not missing. Okay. So, door tie back, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. ABS light, securely mounted, proper color, not cracked, not dirty, no moisture. Marker light, securely mounted, not cracked, proper color. It's the rear, so it's red. Not dirty, no moisture inside. Clearance lights. Securely mounted, not cracked, not dirty, proper color, no moisture. Working my way down to my door so I can name all my door parts and then talk about what could be wrong. So I got my hinges, my door seal, my door itself, my latches, and my door hooks. They are all securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken, no signs of leakage. Tail lights. So your function of which I mentioned tail light. They're also brake lights, or turn signals, and they're forward flashes. All securely mounted, proper color, no cracks, not dirty, no motion. DOT bumper, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, broken. DOT tape on the door and on the bumper, 100% coverage on the back of the vehicle. It's all secure, not cracked, not dirty. That's 3. And then on the tail that, I would inspect this side of the vehicle the same way I just inspected the other. So at this point, anything I missed, it's too late, because I just told him I was done with my exterior. And then I would ask for his assistant with a light test. So what he's going to do is he's going to stay to the back of the trailer, and he's going to check all your lights for you. So what you're going to do is quickly walk up and shut the hood if you haven't done so already, and then get in the truck and then operate all the lights. So all the lights that have a function, you must operate. So what you're going to do is get in the truck, and actually we'll walk up there and I'll tell you. So the examiner's in the back. Going to get in the truck, turn the key one click, because the Volvo, the lights will not work if the key is not turned. I'm going to turn my headlights on and look in the mirror. So he's checking all my tail lights, marker lights, clearance lights. He's going to give me the thumbs up. So I'll wait for that. As soon as he does that, I'll do my left turn signal, and he'll give me the thumbs up. Right turn signal, thumbs up. And four-way flashers, thumbs up. And brake lights, thumbs up. I'm going to leave my lights on, because now he's going to walk to the front. I'm going to do all the same except for the brake lights. So he gets to the front. He's going to check all my lights, clearance lights, headlights, and he'll give me the thumbs up. So wait and don't rush through, because if he misses it, he's not going to give you credit. So thumbs up, we're good. Right turn, left turn, four-way flashers, all thumbs up, and then high beams. The examiner is going to get in the truck, and this is where you're going to begin the in-cab portion. So in essence, your pre-trip is broken up into 3 tests. You got your exterior, which you just completed. And when he gets in the truck, he's going to read you the rules to the interior in-cab portion of your test. He's going to tell you the first thing you got to do is start the truck, because certain items need the truck to be running to function properly. So safe start, you can tell him you're doing a safe start and what that is. Clutch in, it's in neutral, brakes are set. I turned the key already one click for my lights, so and then just start the truck. Once it's running, again, it's in neutral, slowly release the clutch. Out. So again, the order doesn't matter, whatever makes sense to you. So I'm going to go with working my way inward. So I got my mirrors, they're clean, they're adjusted to me, there's no illegal stickers. I got my windshield with seal, it is all securely mounted, not cracked, no holes more than the size of like a nickel, no illegal stickers. No signs of leaks. Working my way in. I got my safety equipment, so I'm going to start. I got spare fuses in crumb trucks. We keep them in the door. All you got to say, you don't have, at this point, spare fuses for every amperage of the truck. I also have a fire extinguisher. See, this truck has 2. It is securely mounted. It's fully charged. No signs of leaks. In the back, in the little box, I have my 3 red reflective triangles. They are all secure. There's none missing, and they're not damaged. To my seat belt. It is not cut or frayed, and it latches and unlatches. Working my way to my dash. So I can just talk about what I'm checking here and then what I'm looking for. So I'm going to name the gauges. When I started the truck, my ABS light came on and went off. Even though I don't see it right now, I just know that That's one of the parts. So, then I got my oil pressure, my engine temperature, my voltmeter. If I had a def tank, it would be here. And on my def, I have at least 1/8 of a tank. That's one of the things they want to hear. And then I got my primary and secondary air gauges. They are all securely mounted and rising to the proper level. Working my way out. So on the outside, he checked the lights. Now I'm checking the light indicators on my dash. So I got my right indicator, my left indicator, my bright indicator, and my 4-way flasher, all working as it should. Working my way out. I got my city horn and air. To here, I got my wipers, so my wiper blades are securely mounted. They're not cut. They're firm against the window, and they're working as it should, as well as my washer fluid. So clean your windows. Lastly, I got my, and you can just turn it on, and this doesn't matter where it's at, but just tell them you got my defrost and blower and heat is all working as it should. I think that's everything. So I'm going to tell them I'm done with my aim cap. So once I tell them I'm done, if I missed anything, that's just a missing point. So on your whole pre-trip, I think there's like 94-ish items that you're supposed to mention. You have to mention 67 out of 94. So you got to identify the part and describe any and all things that could be wrong with that part. It's not really hard to fail that portion. Once you're done with your NCAP, he's going to read you the rules to the brake test. He's going to tell you before you begin your brake test, you're first going to check your air compressor. This is not part of your brake test. It's just to ensure that the air compressor is building up air as it should. He's also going to let you know to test that you have to pump your brakes down to approximately 90 psi. And then he's going to continue reading the rest of the brake test rules. When he is done talking, you begin. So he told you to pump it down to 90 psi. You don't have to tell him anything. You just pump your brakes down till you get to below 100. And then you would take over from here and you would say the air compressor is going to build the air pressure back up. At approximately 120, the governor is going to shut it off. And you're going to ask for his assistance. He'll say yes. So then you put your foot on the throttle and let him know when it gets to 120. So you need to speak and tell him everything that you're doing before you act. And so I'm waiting for it to get 120. And he could be talking to you. So just be listening for your air governor to spit. Right there. Alright, now begins your official brake test. Just remember, there's 4 steps. You must list each step in order and with the latest numbers and the that's in the CDL manual. So, step 1. Logically, it makes sense. You need the truck to be off because you want it to keep building up air. You need to turn the key 1 click back so you can read your gauges. And you need to release your brakes. Volvos are kind of slow, so I give it a minute to stabilize. So that's step 1. Truck off, back on, release. Step 2 is the applied brake test. So what you're going to do is, you're going to tell them, I'm going to put my foot on the brake for approximately for 1 minute, sorry, for 1 minute, I should not lose more than 4 psi with a combination vehicle, truck, and trailer. Will you assist me? He'll say yes. You put your foot on the brake. He's going to not wait a minute. He's going to say, that's a minute. You take your foot off the brake and tell him that was successful. Logical next step, third step. I'm going to pump my brakes down to approximately 55 psi, at which point I'm going to get a low pressure warning light and or buzzer. So wash. You really only need one light to go on, and actually they both went off. That was successful. Last step, step 4, is the activation of the popping of my brakes if I lose all my air pressure. So I'm going to pump the brakes down to approximately 20 to 45 psi, at which point both of my knobs should pop out. Those are pretty slow. It's pretty much 20, and they both popped. So again, logically, you have to do step 1. If you don't turn the truck off, you're going to keep building up air. If you don't turn your key, you're not going to be able to read your gauges. If you don't release your brakes, how can you check for air loss? How can your brakes pop out? So, logical first step. You're not going to pump your brakes down before you do your applied brake test, because you need air pressure in there. So, step 2 is logical as well, where it's at. In that progression, your low pressure warning, approximately 55, so that makes sense why that's step 3. Continue pumping down. So if you continue to use your brakes, they're going to pop out and apply your parking brakes. So that's 20 to 45 psi, logically. If he tells you to give him another brake test, that means you messed up one of those 4 steps. Don't panic. You're not going to do the air compressor check. You're just going to do those 4 steps. Think about it as you're building the air pressure back up. Take your time. It's 4 easy, logical steps. If you have to put 4 fingers out, just one at a time, go through the steps. Because the brake test is 100%. You have to do it in order, and you have to do it with the latest numbers. Lastly, so as soon as you're done, you're going to go right into a safe start. Clutch in neutral, brakes are set. And more than likely, this is going to be the end of the test. He could have you do a tough test. So I'm going to demonstrate that. Chances are he's not going to have you do it, but I'll show you how to do it anyway, just in case. So, truck's running. I'm not sure if you got to ask. I'd ask if you can assist. He'll say yes. As soon as it gets above 60, we're going to go ahead and release our trailer so it breaks so that we can fill the trailer up with air. Because we just depleted the whole truck and trailer and all the tanks of all the air. So as soon as it gets above 60, and that will lead me into my first code test. I hope I didn't miss anything. I've done this 100 times, but we're all human. We can forget things, but I didn't forget anything critical. Again, the most critical part is the air brake test. you're in Indiana, you're not timed on your pre-trip, although in a way you are timed. By that I mean there's no specific time for the pre-trip, but your whole test, which consists of your pre-trip, your backing maneuvers, and your driving test, and that's scheduled for a 2-hour increment. So I don't want to have it down to where you can get your pre-trip done in roughly 30 minutes. Some states, they do time you, like for instance Ohio, it is a 30-minute test. They do things a little different in Ohio. So if he has you do a tug test. So I released my trailer brakes. So first thing I'm going to do is tug up against my tractor parking brakes. So my tractor brakes are set. So clutch in, low gear, so second gear here. And then all I'm lightly doing is my foot is not touching, my right foot not touching any pedals. I'm just slowly releasing my clutch till I feel some tension, which I do right there. And I'm tugging against my tractor parking brakes. Now I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to set my trailer brakes and release my tractor brakes. So now what I'm doing is tugging against my trailer brakes and making sure they hold. So tug, tug. I turn my wheels. So next part, I need to make sure my steering wheel's straight. So release both brakes. The book says pull forward at approximately 5 miles per hour. You're just going to pull forward and light grip on the steering wheel. It obviously should, you're checking your service brake. It should obviously stop you, but it shouldn't pull left or right, which would indicate one of your brakes being out of adjustment. So just pull forward and then clutch and brake, and that is it. You passed, and now you're moving on to your backing test.